This is Delta history, where modern warfare unfolds not in the loud chaos of explosions, but in the terrifying stillness of calculated silence. In the forests of eastern Ukraine, where tree lines hide more than just soldiers and fog conceals the intentions of both sides, a different kind of war is being waged. One not of massive firepower, but of precision, patience, and fear. On a night when the wind barely stirred and the sky held no moon, a familiar threat returned to the Russian front. The silence was broken not by missiles or drones, but by the quiet whisper of a suppressed rifle, the sound of death delivered by one of Ukraine's most elite and invisible warriors, the ghost snipers. These men are not ordinary sharpshooters. They are the apex of special operations evolution, hand-picked for their ability to disappear into terrain, hold their breath for minutes, wait for hours, and kill in seconds. Their camouflage is handcrafted, their scopes tuned to perfection, their minds conditioned to block out pain, cold, and even fear. They operate in teams of 2 to 6, rarely using any communication once they're deployed. Each step, each decision, each bullet is planned, measured, and executed with terrifying accuracy. For these soldiers, time moves differently, slower, quieter, until the moment they pull the trigger and history changes in the blink of an eye. In the days leading up to the operation, Ukrainian SIGINT, Signals Intelligence, intercepted irregular Russian military transmissions coming from a dense wooded zone near the village of Opitne, just behind the Avdiivka front. Data suggested that a forward command node had been relocated there, coordinating not only artillery strikes but also the deployment of Russian loitering drones. The location was heavily guarded, hidden from satellite view, and surrounded by natural barriers. It was the perfect target and the perfect challenge for the ghost snipers. Their mission, codenamed Hollow Echo, was simple: eliminate the Russian leadership without being seen, without being heard, and without being caught. The sniper team inserted under cover of darkness, carrying no electronic devices that could be tracked. For nearly 48 hours, they remained on their bellies in the cold soil, nestled between rocks and roots, wrapped in layered ghillie suits blended with moss, leaves, and twigs. They used small FPV drones, quieter than a whisper, to map movements around the compound and identify potential choke points. Thermal imaging confirmed the presence of 7 personnel: a Russian colonel believed to be the sector commander, 2 communications officers, 3 armed guards, and 1 logistics coordinator. The snipers marked each with mental precision and waited. At exactly 2:41 a.m., the first shot cracked through the silence. A 7.62 millimeter round, subsonic and suppressed, tore through the chest of the first radio technician. He collapsed instantly, gasping in silence as blood soaked the floor. Seconds later, the second comms operator was hit mid-turn, dropping the radio handset before he could speak. The guards, confused and unaware of the direction of fire, scrambled for cover, but 2 of them were dropped before their rifles even cleared their shoulders. Then, the colonel stepped into the hallway, barking orders in panic, and was silenced mid-sentence by a perfectly placed round to the forehead. The bullet passed cleanly through his skull and embedded itself in the wall behind him. The entire chain of command in that outpost was neutralized in just over 5 minutes. The final 2 Russians ran blindly into the tree line, only to vanish from drone view, presumed dead or fled. Without leadership, Russian artillery fire in the area ceased. Drone sorties halted. Ground units, expecting orders, fell into disarray. Ukrainian forward observers, positioned 10 kilometers away, confirmed that no new coordinates had been transmitted in over 30 minutes. That's when Ukraine launched a precision artillery strike on 3 Russian positions that had been reliant on that command post. The coordination was flawless. Ukrainian rounds landed within meters of Russian bunkers as the ghost sniper unit silently exfiltrated back through the tree line, leaving behind only death and confusion. When Russian reinforcements arrived at dawn, they found the outpost empty. Lifeless bodies sprawled across floors, comms equipment shattered, windows intact but bloodstained, and absolutely no indication of how or who had carried out the attack. No shell casings, no tire tracks, no noise. It was as if the very forest had reached out and taken their officers in the night. Russian war bloggers on Telegram erupted in speculation, some claiming it was sabotage, others suggesting a new Western weapon. But those who saw the leaked thermal drone footage knew the truth. It wasn't a bomb, nor was it sabotage. It was a sniper kill, cold, precise, and methodical.
А там за кілометр вони. А знаєте, чому ми перемогли? Тому що ми не боїмося, ми не йобнемо. Ми б'ємося за свої землі, за свої рідні. Перемога зима.
Inside NATO briefing rooms, analysts studied the footage frame by frame. The operation was described as one of the most effective battlefield assassinations of the war, not just because of its results, but because of its elegance. One retired US colonel remarked, "This is not just combat, this is art." Ukraine had sent a signal not only to Russia, but to the world. We do not need numbers or size to win. We only need to know where to strike and when. And when the ghost snipers strike, they leave no trail, only fear. The psychological impact of such an operation is often greater than the tactical one. In the days following the raid, Russian commanders in Donetsk began changing HQ locations daily. Some refused to use electronic comms at all. Morale among lower officers plummeted. Rumors spread like wildfire about invisible men in the trees. Some Russian soldiers began refusing to sleep near windows. Others demanded sniper shields be installed in field HQs. The fear was not just that they might be shot, but that they wouldn't even hear the shot coming. What makes Ukraine's ghost snipers truly terrifying is that they are not supernatural. They are real, trained, deployed, patient, and multiplying. Every time they act, they create ripples that weaken Russian control, disrupt their rhythm, and erode their confidence. Their role in the war is no longer secondary, it's strategic. Before Ukraine launches an assault, these silent hunters appear first, cutting the head off the snake before the body can move. And once they vanish into the night, no radar, drone, or infrared system has ever tracked them. In an era of drone swarms, AI targeting, satellite-guided bombs, and digital warfare, Ukraine has reminded the world that the oldest form of battlefield terror, a man with a rifle and the patience of a ghost, remains as powerful as ever. Because a sniper does not just eliminate, he creates fear, he breaks trust, he silences radios, and in the case of Ukraine's ghost snipers, he rewrites the rules of engagement. This has been Delta History, bringing you inside the true shadows of the modern battlefield, where the war isn't always fought with volume, but with silence, where one shot changes everything, and the deadliest weapons don't roar, they whisper. Subscribe now, follow us deeper into the war no satellite can see. And remember, some of the most important battles are won before the enemy even knows they've begun.